what that music say?
Yes, sir, Amos. That music say, good health to all from Rexall, the stores with the orange and blue sign.
Yes, 10,000 independent Rexall druggists at the stores with the orange and blue sign bring you transcribed The Amos and Andy Show, written by Joe Connolly and Bob Mosier, featuring Ernestine Wade, Johnny Lee, Amanda Randolph, Eddie Marr, Jeff Alexander's music, yours truly, Harlow Wilcox, and starring radio's all-time favorites, Freeman Gosden and Charles Correll. Amos and Andy.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? I am Charles Correll. You know, whenever the doctor gives a prescription to a member of my family, we take that important piece of paper straight to our Rexall drugstore. That's because we happen to know that every Rexall druggist is or employs a registered pharmacist. It's his lifetime calling to fill out prescriptions accurately. He's spent years in training. He's had plenty of experience. And he has the purest, freshest, newest drugs available. So I just hope that any time you have a prescription, you take it straight to your Rexall family druggist.
Well, all winter, the Kingfish's wife, Sapphire, and her mother have been saving their money for a vacation at the seashore. Although it's only April, they've decided to take an early vacation and beat the crowd. Right now, Sapphire, her mother, and the Kingfish are having a little family discussion over dinner on where they should go.
I think we ought to go to the seashore.
Well, I'd be miserable at the seashore. I think we ought to go to the mountains.
The seashore is much better.
I hate the ocean. I tell you, you can't beat the mountains.
Look here, Baldy. We are going to the seashore. And if you mention mountains once again, I'm going to take this rump roast and bounce it off that thick head of yours. Now, what are you going to say to that?
Just one thing. By the sea, by the sea,
Huh. I know you'd back down, you miserable, sniveling weasel, you.
You know, Mama, you really is a sour old lady. Tell me something. Did the stork bring you, or did you crawl out of a pickle barrel?
Now, look, George Stevens, me and Mama is paying for this vacation, and we're going to the seashore.
Now, listen, I was always embarrassed to be seen on the beach with you two. Everybody turn around and stares at you.
George, they does not.
Well, how about last summer when we went to Atlantic City? The fellow that runs the aquarium on the steel pier complained about you two. He claimed you and Mama was taking the play away from the octopus.
There's no sense of arguing, George. We is going to the beach, and that's final.
Yeah, we is paying the freight on this trip. You just haul your big fat carcass where we tell you.
Now, look, George, me and Mama got $300 saved up. Now, I want you to take it and go down to a travel agency and make us a reservation at some nice seaside resort.
Yeah, that's it. Jam it down my throat like everything else around here. You'd think for once that you'd take me into consideration. I got feeling like everybody else. After all, I is a human being that needs love and affection and understanding and...
Cut it out, Mother McCree. You're breaking my heart.
You say, Kingfish, that Sapphire and her mama insist on going to the seashore this year, huh?
Yes, Andy, they calls it a vacation, but, well, the real purpose is to try to hook a man for Mama, you see.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as they checks into the hotel, the nuptialating maneuvers start.
Sapphire's mama really throws out the hook to catch a man, huh?
Yeah, but I'm afraid at her age, the bait is a little too stale. That old lobster pot ain't had a nibble for the past 18 years.
Yeah. I guess she is the kind of a catfish that it's a pleasure to throw back, all right.
Well, you know, she did come pretty close last summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, some old boy seen her rocking on the front porch of the hotel, and he fell for it like a ton of bricks. Yeah, he was the perfect man for Mama. 98 years old, weak eyes, loaded with money, and his next of kin was 4,000 miles away.
Well, what done happened?
Well, they had a doctor check the old boy to get a Dow Jones report on his blood pressure. And he guaranteed the old codger would last just about long enough to get through the ceremony.
Yeah.
So she worked fast, you see, and 2 days later, he was walking down the aisle with her.
Yeah, well, how come they never went through with the ceremony?
Well, one of them strange quirks of fate, Andy, that breaks a son-in-law's heart. Right in the middle of the ceremony, rigor mortis got to the groom.
Holy mackerel, that was bad.
Yes, Andy, when the preacher got to the part about, do you take this man, the undertaker said, I do.
Well, that was a tough break, all right, Kingfish.
Yeah, I don't know why they wants to go to the seashore again. They've been going to the seashores for the past 8 seasons. As far as romance is concerned, the old lady has done smooch with everything around sea level.
Yeah, you know something? If she went to the mountains, she might snag something above the timberline. Might meet an eligible moose or something up there.
Well, I better look up some cheap travel agency, I guess. One that ain't too expensive and make the reservations for the seashore.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, your mama might meet some old fella down there, too. So if you were smart, you ought to go down to Red Cross and learn that artificial respiration. At least that way you'll be able to get him through the ceremony.
Oh, yeah, Well, here's the travel agency. I see it listed in the paper. Don't look like much of a place, but I guess it ought to be cheap. Let me wipe the dust off the window here so I can see what it say on the poster. Sailings booked now on the SS Leviathan. Drinks served beyond the 3-mile limit. Well, this sounds like a big-time outfit. Let me get in here. Yeah, well, that must be the proprietor coming over here.
Well, come right in. What can I do for you, friend?
Well, I'd like to arrange for a trip.
Oh, a pleasure trip?
No, I'll take my wife and mother-in-law. Ain't nothing.
I see. Planning a vacation, huh? Well, sit right down in this chair, friend, and let me make you comfortable.
Yeah, well, thank you, mister, but we wants to go to the seashore.
The seashore? Why, friend, nobody goes to the seashore anymore, except squares and seagulls.
Oh, they don't, huh?
Why, certainly not. Now, what you want to do, friend, is go where they're all going this year.
No, where is they all going this year?
Where they going, my friend? Why, Lake Chippewawa.
Lake Chippewawa. Where is that, mister?
Where is it? Why, friend, it's high on the sand dunes overlooking beautiful Hackensack. And, friend, if you take advantage, now you can have the winter rates.
Yeah, well, if everybody's going there, it might be all right, I guess, yeah, sir.
Well, now, Bud, you tell me this. How long do you plan to stay?
2 weeks.
I see. And what did you want to spend?
Not over $300.
2 weeks, $300? Friend, you hit it right on the nose.
I did?
Yes, sir. Have the perfect trip, and that's payable in advance.
Yeah, sir. Well, I got the money right here. Perfect trip, huh? Yeah, sir. Well, there you is, right there, $300.
Well, that's fine. Now, here you are. Take some circulars on the place, and here's your reservations at the line. Now, all you have to do is just sign right here.
Yeah, sir.
Naturally, you come under our 3R plan.
Thank you, sir. By the way, what is the 3R plan?
Very simple, friend. No rebates, refunds, or restitution.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That's a nice plan. I'm glad to get in there. Thank you very much, sir.
Hello, Ed. This is Jerry at the travel agency. How is everything up there at Lake Chippewawa? Season hasn't started yet, huh? Well, patch the roof and chase the chickens out of the bridal suite. I got a party of suckers coming up.
Good evening. This is your Rexall family druggist. one of the 10,000 independent druggists who have made the word Rexall part of our own store names. We've done that because we recommend and sell Rexall drug products. One good example, Rexall Chlorophyll mouthwash that works 3 ways to protect you from mouth odors for hours. First, it foams to reach hidden crevices and float away food particles. Second, it penetrates thoroughly, thanks to a surface-active ingredient. And third, it sweetens the breath with nature's own effective chlorophyll. So for the triple-acting mouthwash that foams as it cleans, as it deodorizes, ask for Rexall Chlorophyll mouthwash. Available at Rexall drugstores everywhere.
Well, I got the reservation. Now, I guess I'll leave the office and go on home and tell Sapphire and her mama. He'll probably raise a fuss about not going to the seashore, but Well, Calhoun the lawyer, how is you, boy?
Hiya, Kingfish.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, sir, I just dropped over from my office to use your phone.
Yeah, well, what's wrong with your phone, Calhoun?
Well, I'll explain that to you. You see, last Saturday night I was awful lonely, so I opened up the phone book and see it on the front page where you can just pick up the phone and say, "Operator, I want a fireman. I want a policeman, or I want a doctor," and they send you one.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, so I picked up the phone and said, "Operator, I want a tall gal with a weak will."
Yeah, well, what did you get?
A short man with a pair of pliers who took out my phone.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you dropped in, Calhoun. I want to say goodbye to you, boy.
Yeah.
I'm going on a little vacation, yes, sir. Me and my wife and mom-in-law is going up to Lake Chippewawa.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're gonna... Lake Chippewa what?
No, Lake Chippewawa.
You don't mean Lake Chippewa up in the hills above Hackensack, does you?
What you laughing like that about? What's the matter?
Hey, Kingfish, I sued that dump last year on behalf of 2 of my clients.
You mean it ain't no mountain paradise?
It ain't nothing but a broken down shack on a dried up lake.
What you mean now? The man give me these circles here and everything. Must be all right. Look at these. Look.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute.
Huh?
Yeah, look at these circles.
Yeah.
You can even tell from the picture it's a dump.
Sure.
Oh, I tell you, when Sapphire and Mama finds out I done booked them a place like this, they gonna kill me dead. D-E-A-D dead.
Well, I guess you got stuck with the reservation, but maybe you can stick somebody else with them. You know they say that there's a sucker born every minute.
Yeah, a sucker born every minute.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I think I'll go over and have a talk with newborn baby Brown.
Yeah, well, you're smart not going to the mountains anyway, Kingfish. You know, they can be a dangerous place.
They can, huh?
Mm-hmm. My brother worked up at one of them big hotels at Lake Placid last winter as a waiter.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, and he decided to take up skiing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one day he went up to the top of the big ski jump up there and lowered his head and away he went.
Holy mackerel.
The only trouble was, in the middle of the air, he lost his balance and come down 300 feet right smack on his head.
Wow, did it hurt him?
Well, I tell you, you know how the waiters up there brings in the meals by balancing a tray on their heads.
Yeah.
My brother's the only waiter they got that can serve 6 people without using the tray. Well,
here's Andy coming down the hall. I hope I can unload this dump on him.
Oh, hi, Kingfish. Hi.
Well, hi, Brother Andy. You look pretty poorly there. Sit down and unhollow your cheeks there. Let them puff out on you.
Is you and Sapphire all ready for your seashore vacation?
Yes, Andy, but I feels a little conscience struck about you, boy.
About me?
Certainly. I'll be laying there on the seashore, breathing in them pure ocean breezes, and you'll be up here in New York inhaling all this polluted air.
You say the air here in New York is looted up? What is that?
Yeah, Andy, they took a sample of it and they sent it to the Mayo brothers in a milk bottle. And the Mill brothers analyzed it and found out with all the automobiles in New York, the air is 1 part oxygen and 2 parts carbon peroxide, you see.
And that's bad to inhale all that stuff, huh?
Oh, yeah, and the science has found out that the only way to live here in New York is to have some relative over in New Jersey do your breathing for you. That's the only way to do it.
Yeah, well, that's a mess, all right. How did this come about?
Well, the main reason is that there are 6 million people in New York and only air enough for 3 million, you see.
Well, if that's the case, how come that half of them don't suffragate?
Of course, up till now, half the population has been inhaling while the other half exhales, you see what I mean? Yeah, but who knows, Andy? One of these days, something might disturb the beat, and you're liable to take a deep breath and come up shy, you know.
You mean that there ain't no fresh air in New York at all?
No, Andy, and it's getting worse, too, all the time. You've been down to the railroad station, seen all them crowds hanging around the gates, ain't you?
Yeah.
Well, now, you might think they're down there to meet friends, Andy, but actually, they're there to inhale some fresh air off the commuters. That's what they do.
Holy smoke. Well, I don't like the idea of breathing no secondhand air, so what must I do?
Well, Andy, the doctor said that if you spend 2 weeks in the country, you can inhale enough fresh air to tide you over the next season, you see.
Yeah, but I wouldn't know where to go or nothing.
Well, now, the Pure Food and Air Commission, they made a survey and found that the purest air in the country is at Lake Chippewawa in the beautiful hills of New Jersey.
The air there is really pure, huh?
Pure. And there's 50% oxygen and 50% vitamins. And on top of that, the whole thing has got a penicillin base, you see. I think that I might be able to pull a few strings and get you in at the lodge up there for a couple of weeks.
Oh, that's good. Is it a nice place?
Nice place. Look here at the picture there, Andy. Look at that.
Yeah.
Ain't that nice? Say there, the Rustic Oak Lodge on beautiful Lake Chippewawa.
I don't see no oaks. Where is they?
The oaks, well, they done cut them down, Andy. They don't want nothing interfering with the air up there.
Well, it's rustic, all right.
Yeah.
They must have had a lot of rain up there, though. Look at that puddle in the middle of the road.
Andy, that is Lake Chippewawa.
Oh.
The lake bed actually goes for miles and miles, you see. The man just happened to take the picture at low tide.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I got you the rock bottom price on this, Andy. It costs you $300 for the 2 weeks.
Holy mackerel. I'd like to breathe the penicillin and everything, but $300. Oh, no, Kingfish. I think I'll just stay around New York and gasp for breath.
And I forgot to mention something else to you. You know, they didn't call that place Lake Chippewawa for nothing. It happens to be an old Indian name meaning heap big fresh air and girls.
Kingfish, did you say girls?
That's right, son.
I'll take it. You just hit on something there that's more important than breathing.
Yeah, now...
Oh, Amos, I'm glad I found you in your office, boy.
Yeah, well, come on in, Andy. What is up?
I just come over to say goodbye. I'm going to take a vacation. Gonna get out of the city. You know, the only way you can breathe here in New York is to go down to the station and inhale commuters.
Inhale commuters?
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to New Jersey, to Lake Chippewawa. That's an old Indian word for a gal named penicillin.
Now, Andy, what is this all about? Who told you all this stuff that you're telling me now?
The Kingfish explained it to me. He explained it just before I give him $300 for my reservations.
Andy, ain't that the name Lake Chippewawa kind of familiar to you a little bit?
Yeah, kind of.
Sure, Andy. I tell you what, it was in the newspaper last year. Don't you remember? You remember Calhoun done sued the lodge up there and tried to get some money back for some people who stayed at this lodge up there at Lake Chippewawa. Yeah, oh, it's an awful dump. And Calhoun tried to get the money, but he couldn't get no evidence on them people.
Yeah, I remember that. Sure. Yeah, I guess the Kingfish didn't know about that when he sold me the reservation.
Listen, if you paid him $300, he done gypped you, and that's all it is to it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm going over there and see him.
Yeah, well, what is you going to do?
All his talk about fresh air. I'm going to get my baseball bat and cross-ventilate the top of his head. That's what I'm going to do.
Friends, before another attack of acid indigestion takes you by surprise, be ready with this real relief that's recommended by all Rexall family druggists.
Yes, we recommend Rexall Bismarex because Bismarex not only acts promptly, but actually prolongs relief for hours. That's because the Bismarex ingredients are time-controlled, you might say, to dissolve at varying intervals. The resulting relay action of this exclusive Rexall formula relieves discomfort quickly and goes on to ease the heartburn, flatulence, and other miseries of acid-upset stomach. Bismarex contains time-controlled ingredients, including a bismuth compound to provide a soothing covering for irritated stomach membranes. So for truly prolonged relief from acid indigestion, ask for Bismarex. That's Bismarex, Rexall Bismarex. Available at Rexall drug stores everywhere.
Well, I got my $300 back. I done give the money to Sapphire and Mama. Let them make their own reservation. I ain't gonna...
Kingfish, stand right where you is.
Oh, Brother Andy, what you doing with that baseball bat? The season ain't opened yet.
Listen, in 2 seconds, I'm going to open the baseball season right on the top of your head.
Well, now, wait a minute, Andy. Now, wait a minute. Now, just calm down here, Andy, old pal.
Yeah?
Now, look here. You wouldn't hurt a man that was wounded in the service of his country, would you?
When was you wounded in the service of your country?
Down at the draft board when they wanted to induct me. Yeah, the man asked me to raise my hand, swear that I actually had 36 dependents. And I jerked it up right quick and throwed my collarbone out of the joint there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I done forgot about that.
Now, out of the way, slacker, and let a veteran go by
Oh,
here.
no, you don't, Kingfish. Wait a minute. Hold on, you ain't gonna weasel out of this. That Lake Chippewawa ain't nothing but a dump. I thought that I was gonna spend 2 weeks at a nice resort.
Well, now, Andy, now look here. Let me explain this to you.
Yeah.
When I booked you into that miserable dump, I was actually doing it for your own good.
What you mean, my own good?
Yeah, suppose I booked you into some high-class place. You would be embarrassed to go there.
I would?
Oh, of course, sir. Look at you there with them slits in your shoes and that hole in your derby and that patch on the seat of your pants.
Yeah.
You got more ventilation than you is class, boy. Yeah, if you wanted to go to a high-class place, it'd cost you at least $300 for a decent wardrobe alone.
Yeah, well, I got a couple of suits at home that ain't got no holes in them.
Well, it ain't only that, Andy. It's a nice, cheap dump like Lake Chippewawa. You don't have the expenses mounting up on you.
You don't, huh?
No, outside of a bottle of DDT and a couple of rat traps, you practically can go as you is. You see what I mean? Oh, I tell you, Andy, in them high-class places, they get you going and coming.
They does, huh?
Yeah, and you drives up in a taxi cab at one of these high-class places,
Yeah.
and there's a fella in uniform that opens the cab door. Now, he bows to you, and he hold out his hand. Now, what do?
I shake hands with him. I ain't no snob, you know.
No, Andy, you gotta slip him a quarter. Grease his palm.
Grease his palm. Couldn't I just give him a 10-cent lube job?
You ain't give the man no 10 cents.
Yeah.
Oh, with all them millionaires and dowagers sitting on the front porch there watching you through their lorgnettes.
Lornettes. What is them?
Them glasses on a stick. What is known in the 400 as combination periscope and social snorkel. That's what it is.
Yeah, they really got a bead on me, huh?
Oh, yeah, they're watching you every minute. And then you gets up on the porch there, and there's another fella in uniform waiting for you there.
I got to give him a grease job, too, huh?
Well, at least a quarter, Andy, or he won't open the door for you.
Well, couldn't I wait for one of them millionaires to go in and sprint through on his backswing?
Oh, no, Andy, that kind of sneaky stuff has done been tried since the gay 90s.
It ain't, huh?
No, Mrs. Harriet Plain Whitney caught a bustle in the revolving door, you see.
Well, I don't want no bustle trouble, so I'll slip him a quarter. At least I got to the lobby. It only cost me $50.
Yeah, but that's only the beginning, Andy.
Yeah,
When
huh?
you gets up to the desk, the bellboy gonna ask you for your bags. He's the fellow with all that gold braid on his shoulder and all them brass buttons and everything. Then you really in trouble.
He is, huh?
Oh, yeah, Andy. You can't hand him that old canvas bowling bag of yours with that extra suit of underwear in it.
No.
You gotta hand him a pigskin suitcase. Or at the worst, a stimulated alligator. That's what you gotta have.
Well, now, wait a minute, Sheriff. I was only planning to be there 2 weeks. I wasn't figuring on taking no suitcase.
Oh, suitcase or no suitcase, Andy. I'll tell you. They got you no matter what you do. In addition to the 2 doormans and the bellboy, you got the elevator operator, the floor clerk, the chambermaid. The hotel always makes sure that by the time you gets to your room, you can't afford it. Now, that's the way they work.
Holy mackerel, I never thought it'd be that bad.
Oh, I tell you, Andy, you don't know how lucky you is that you was going to a broken-down, miserable dump like Lake Chippewawa.
Yeah, I guess I is pretty lucky that I ain't going to no high-class place.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to see it my way, Andy, and I guarantee you'll never be embarrassed at Lake Chippewawa. From what I hear, the help is crummier than you is. Now, that's good. Well, I get on up to my apartment here. I guess the gals is taking the money and got the reservations by now. Well, Mama Sapphire, is we all ready for our glorious vacation?
Oh, yes, George. We'll pack our bags tonight and be ready to leave first thing in the morning.
Oh, that's fine. What seashore resort is we going to, honey?
Well, son-in-law, you said we never considered you and we were selfish. Well, we decided to do what you wanted. We are going to the mountains.
The mountains, huh?
Yes. Andy dropped by this afternoon, and so does his reservations for 2 weeks at beautiful Lake Chippewa.
Oh, no,
Now, here's a young lady who's going to be 20 pounds slimmer this summer.
It's so easy to slim down for swimming suits and summer fashions with Ann Delafield's reducing plan for women. Why, you get 3 wonderful weight-losing helps in one convenient kit. You get appetite-reducing wafers, vitamins, and a big beauty book with Ann Delafield's own secrets of charm, makeup, etiquette, and glamour.
So, girls, if your doctor says your excess pounds are not organically caused, start now and be slimmer by summer with Ann Delafield's reducing plan for women.
Remember, only Rexall drugstores sell Ann Delafield's reducing plan for women.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Freeman Gosden. All this month, the American Cancer Society will crusade for funds to help reduce the cancer death toll. You can help by seeing that your local branch of the American Cancer Society gets any contribution that you are able to make. Thank you and good night.
See you next Sunday.
For colds, get Rexall Anapac, A-N-A-P-A-C.
Anapac has antihistamine plus APC.
Rexall Anapac, available at Rexall drugstores everywhere. Be sure to be with us at the same time next Sunday when your Rexall druggist will again present the Amos and Andy Show, transcribed and directed by Cliff Howell. Stay tuned for the Bing Crosby program, which follows immediately over most of these same stations.
This is the CBS Radio Network.